Clapperboard, welcome back, treasure seekers and coin lovers. You're watching Coins Hunter USA, the place where pocket change turns into pure gold. If you're passionate about discovering hidden gems in US currency, you're in the right spot. Moneybag. Today's video is all about one of the most iconic coins in American history, the Washington quarter. It may seem ordinary, but some versions of this coin are worth thousands of dollars. We'll uncover its secrets, explore rare errors, and show you exactly what to look for that could make your quarter worth a fortune. So sit back, grab your change jar, and let's dive into the world of rare Washington quarters, right here on Coins Hunter USA. Fire. Top 1. Today we're shining a spotlight on one of the most iconic and historic coins ever released by the United States Mint, the Washington quarter with the dual date 1776 to 1976. This isn't just any quarter. It was minted to commemorate 200 years of American independence, and it stands out not only for its patriotic significance but also for its rare and valuable versions that have fetched astonishing amounts of money at auction. So, if you've got one of these quarters sitting in a drawer, a jar, or a coin collection, stay with me until the very end, because some rare versions of the 1776 to 1976 Washington quarter have sold for as much as $82,000. Let's dig into the history first. In 1975 and 1976, the United States Mint produced a series of special coins to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. These coins included special designs for the quarter, half dollar, and dollar. Rather than issuing separate 1975 and 1976 coins, all bicentennial coins were dated 1776 to 1976, and they were struck with special reverse designs to mark the occasion. For the quarter, the obverse still featured the familiar portrait of George Washington, but the reverse was entirely new. Instead of the traditional eagle, it displayed a beautifully detailed image of a colonial drummer boy, designed by Jack L. Ahr, accompanied by a torch encircled by 13 stars representing the original colonies. Now, here's where things get interesting. These bicentennial quarters were minted in the hundreds of millions. That means most of them, especially circulated ones, are still worth face value. But a tiny number have become the holy grail of modern coin collectors due to extremely rare minting errors, special metal compositions, and flawless conditions. Let's talk about rarity and condition first. Most of the bicentennial quarters were struck on standard copper-nickel clad planchets for general circulation. But the U.S. Mint also produced a limited number of 40% silver quarters for special collector's sets. If you have one of these silver versions, especially in pristine condition, you already have something special. But even rarer than that are the error coins, the kinds of mistakes that happen during the minting process and make the coin one of a kind. Let me walk you through some of the most valuable and sought-after errors you need to look for in a 1776 to 1976 quarter. 1. Double die obverse or reverse. This occurs when the coin is struck twice with slight misalignment, resulting in a noticeable doubling in the design or lettering. On the bicentennial quarter, doubling might appear on the date, the word Liberty, or even in the intricate details of the drummer's uniform. These coins can be worth a fortune depending on the clarity and position of the doubling point. 2. Off-center strikes. These are coins that were not properly aligned during minting, causing part of the design to be shifted or cut off. The more dramatic the error, the more valuable the coin, especially if the date remains fully visible. 3. Wrong planchet errors. Imagine a bicentennial quarter struck on a dime or foreign coin blank. These minting mistakes are incredibly rare but do happen, and collectors pay a premium for them because they're so unique. 4. Clipped planchet. This is when a part of the coin's edge is missing because the metal sheet was misfed during the blank cutting process. These clipped quarters, especially bicentennial ones, are highly collectible. 5. Full strike in mint state condition. Even without an error, if your quarter is in mint state, meaning it has no signs of wear and looks exactly as it did the day it left the mint, it could be worth significantly more than face value. Grades like MS67, MS68, and higher are very rare for this coin, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for certified examples. Now, how can you tell if your 1776 to 1976 quarter is valuable? Start with the basics. Check the edge of the coin. If you see a silver-colored edge with no copper strip, you might have a 40% silver version. These were made at the San Francisco Mint and often bear the S mint mark. Next, examine the coin under a magnifying glass. Look closely at the lettering, drummer boy design, and date. Do you see any doubling? Odd markings? Uneven spacing? Any of those could indicate a valuable error. Also, look for the mint mark. P means it came from the Philadelphia Mint. D means Denver Mint, and S usually means it was part of a proof or silver set from the San Francisco Mint. If your coin looks unusually shiny or pristine, and you believe it may be in uncirculated or proof condition, consider having it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A high grade combined with a rare error is where real value begins to emerge. And now, here's the part you've been waiting for. Among all the bicentennial quarters ever found, one particular example, featuring a rare error, struck in 40% silver, and preserved in nearly flawless condition, was authenticated and sold at a high-profile coin auction for a staggering $82,000. Yes, you heard that right. $82,000. That's not a typo. That's the kind of value that turns a pocket change discovery into a collector's dream come true. Just think about it, one coin. 25 cents. But with the right combination of error, metal composition, and mint condition, it can be worth more than a brand new luxury car. So what are you waiting for? Go check your change jar. Look through those old boxes in the attic. If you come across a 1776 to 1976 quarter, don't toss it aside. Examine it carefully. You might be holding a hidden piece of history, and a small fortune, in your hands. Top 2. We're about to dive into everything you need to know about the 1986 Washington quarter, its history, design, minting details, error variations, and what to look for if you're hoping to find one of these incredibly valuable pieces. Let's begin with the basics. The Washington quarter, first issued in 1932, has been one of the most recognizable and longest-running coins in U.S. history. In 1986, the U.S. Mint continued the traditional design featuring a left-facing bust of George Washington on the obverse, originally designed by John Flanagan. The reverse, at the time, still showcased the classic image of a heraldic eagle, wings spread proudly, perched atop a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath, symbolizing both strength and peace. Now, the 1986 quarter may not immediately strike most people as rare. After all, it was a circulating coin, used daily across the country. But here's the truth most people don't realize: even common coins can become incredibly valuable under the right conditions. And the 1986 Washington quarter is no exception. So, what exactly makes a 1986 quarter rare and valuable? It all comes down to three things: condition, mint location, and most importantly, minting errors. Let's break these down one by one. First, condition. Coins that have been in circulation are usually covered in nicks, scratches, and dullness from years of use. But if you find a 1986 quarter that looks flawless, with sharp edges, no visible wear, and a shiny, mirror-like surface, you're holding a potential treasure. These are called mint state coins, and they are graded from MS60 to MS70. The higher the grade, the rarer and more valuable the coin. An MS67 or MS68 1986 quarter is incredibly hard to find, and can sell for thousands even without errors. Second, mint mark. The 1986 quarters were struck at two locations: the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, and the Denver Mint, marked with a D. While both mints produced millions of coins, it's the combination of mint location and condition that can help drive up the value. For example, quarters from Denver that show rare striking errors are especially sought after due to lower known populations in mint state condition. And now the most exciting factor: mint errors. This is where the real money is made. Let's go through some of the most valuable and dramatic error types that have been discovered in 1986 quarters. 1. Double die obverse, DDO. This occurs when the coin is struck twice with a slightly misaligned die, resulting in doubling on the date, the word liberty, or in God we trust. These are easy to spot under magnification and are highly collectible. Point 2. Off-center strike. A misaligned strike causes part of the design to be missing or shifted. The more off-center the coin is, while still showing the full date, the higher its value. A 1986 quarter that's 15% or more off-center with a clear date can fetch hundreds or even thousands. 3. Clipped planchet. A portion of the coin is literally missing due to a miscut blank. These are visually dramatic and instantly desirable. The 1986 clipped planchet quarters, especially those with mint marks visible and clean edges, are highly valued by error collectors. 4. Broad strike error. This happens when a coin is struck without the retaining collar, causing it to spread out wider than normal. It can give the coin a flattened appearance. Combined with other errors, broad-struck 1986 quarters can be very valuable. 5. Wrong planchet error. Extremely rare, this occurs when a 1986 quarter design is accidentally struck onto the wrong metal blank, like a penny or a foreign coin planchet. These are considered once-in-a-lifetime finds and have sold for tens of thousands. 6. Struck-through errors. This type happens when debris, grease, or even fabric is caught between the die and the coin during striking. These coins will have strange, unintentional markings or missing areas in the design, making each one unique, but here's something every collector should know: not all errors are obvious at first glance. That's why many high-value coins sit unnoticed in jars, collections, or rolls for years. It takes a careful eye and sometimes a good magnifying glass to spot the signs. The magic often lies in the tiny details, doubling in the lettering, a shifted design, or an unusual surface texture. Now, how do you go from finding a unique 1986 quarter to cashing in? First, if you suspect you have a valuable coin, get it certified by a professional grading service such as PCGS or NGC. This confirms authenticity, documents the grade, and establishes its market value. Serious collectors and auction houses only pay top dollar for certified coins, and now, for the moment you've all been waiting for. A 1986 Washington quarter, struck with a rare mint error, preserved in flawless mint condition, and professionally certified by a top-tier grading service, was once sold to an elite collector for an absolutely staggering $85,000. Yes, that's right. $85,000. All for one quarter, 25 cents in face value that turned into a collector's prize worth more than most cars on the road today. So don't underestimate the change in your pocket. The next time you're handed a quarter, or go digging through your old collection, take a close look. Because the difference between a common coin and a rare treasure could be just one overlooked error away. Top 3. We're about to uncover the secrets behind a coin that most people never give a second thought to: the 1990 Washington quarter. That's right, the simple quarter you've probably used at a vending machine, dropped in a parking meter, or tossed in a coin jar, could actually be worth tens of thousands of dollars under the right circumstances. This isn't just a story of everyday money. This is a story of rarity, error, and collector obsession. And by the end of this video, you'll learn how one very specific 1990 quarter stunned the coin collecting world when it sold for an incredible $88,000. So grab your change jar, listen carefully, and get ready to look at your coins with brand new eyes, because what seems like pocket change today might just be a jackpot tomorrow. Let's take it back to 1990. The Washington quarter, featuring a dignified portrait of George Washington on the obverse, has been a staple of American currency since 1932. In 1990, the U.S. Mint continued this classic design. It was a transitional period, not flashy, not yet influenced by the design overhauls that would come with the 50-state quarters program. But it was still a year full of surprises, especially for sharp-eyed collectors. The 1990 quarter was struck at two main mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark, and Denver, marked with a D. These coins were mass-produced, millions upon millions were circulated. So, what could possibly make one of these seemingly ordinary coins worth more than a luxury vehicle? The answer lies in two critical factors: rare minting errors and flawless, high-grade condition. Let's break it down. First, minting errors. These are the golden nuggets for collectors. They occur when something goes wrong during the coin production process, and that mistake makes the coin one of a kind. The rarer and more dramatic the error, the higher its value. One of the most talked about errors on a 1990 Washington quarter is the missing mint mark error. In the early 90s, some coins were struck without a mint mark due to a worn or improperly prepared die. This was especially significant because mint marks are essential for identifying a coin's origin. If a 1990 quarter that should have a D or no mark is found missing or showing signs of a minting flaw in that area, it could raise red flags, in a good way. For collectors, another exciting variety is the double die error. This occurs when the coin design is accidentally struck twice, slightly misaligned. The result? Doubling of letters or numbers, especially in the words, Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date. These double die quarters are highly sought after because the mistake is visible without any magnification in many cases. It gives the coin a bold, almost ghost-like effect in the design. Then we have off-center strikes. This error happens when the blank coin isn't perfectly aligned during minting. The design appears shifted to one side, often leaving a blank crescent on the other. The more off-center the design, and the more of the date still visible, the more valuable the coin becomes. Another rare error involves clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is missing due to a mishap in the cutting process. These coins look like they've had a bite taken out of them. Combine that with a clean date and mint mark, and you've got yourself a serious conversation piece in the collector world, and if you're really lucky. There's the ultra-rare wrong planchet error, where the 1990 quarter design is mistakenly stamped on the wrong metal blank, sometimes one meant for a penny, a dime, or even a foreign coin. These coins are true rarities and fetch sky-high prices at auction. Now let's talk about coin grading, because even without a dramatic error, a 1990 quarter can still be incredibly valuable if it's in perfect condition. A coin's condition is measured on a 70-point scale, where MS60 to MS70 denotes mint state. A coin graded MS67, MS68, or higher is considered a rare gem, especially from a year like 1990 when most coins went straight into circulation and suffered wear and tear. If you've got a 1990 quarter that's bright, lustrous, and shows no signs of wear, even under magnification, it might be worth submitting to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. If it receives a top-tier grade, it instantly becomes more than just a collector item, it becomes an investment. And now, here's the jaw-dropping highlight of today's video. In one of the most remarkable coin auction stories in recent memory, a 1990 Washington quarter, struck with a dramatic mint error and preserved in nearly flawless mint state condition, was certified by a leading grading agency. After intense bidding among collectors, that single coin, once worth only 25 cents, sold for a staggering $88,000. Yes, you heard that right. $88,000, all for a coin you might overlook, toss into a vending machine, or forget in a couch cushion. That's the kind of magic that makes coin collecting so thrilling, and so real. So what should you do right now? Go grab your old quarters. Take out that coin collection you haven't looked at in years. Examine every 1990 quarter carefully. Look at the mint mark, or lack of one. Inspect the lettering, the date, the surfaces. Use a magnifying glass. Take your time. Because the next rare and valuable coin could already be in your possession, and if you think you've found something special, don't guess, get it professionally graded. Authentication and condition are everything in this game. Top 4. We're putting the spotlight on a seemingly ordinary piece of change, the 1996 Washington quarter from the United States of America. At first glance, this coin looks just like any other quarter. You've probably spent one without thinking twice. But here's the twist: one special version of the 1996 quarter was sold for an eye-popping amount that stunned the numismatic world. So stay with me and listen very carefully, because we're about to dive deep into what makes the 1996 quarter rare, what errors make it extremely valuable, how to identify those key details, and how one lucky collector walked away with a jaw-dropping $92,000 for a single 25-cent coin. Let's start with the background. The Washington quarter has been a part of U.S. currency since 1932, originally introduced to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. The obverse features Washington's profile, a design created by sculptor John Flanagan that became a timeless symbol of American coinage. The reverse, up until the start of the State Quarter series in 1999, featured the heraldic eagle, perched on arrows and surrounded by olive branches, representing strength, readiness, and peace. The 1996 Washington quarter was minted during a transitional time, just 3 years before the United States Mint launched the highly collectible state quarters program. So while the 1996 coin may not be part of that historic series, it still holds serious potential in the world of rare coin collecting. Why? Because of something every collector loves: rarity, condition, and errors. Let's start with rarity through condition. Millions of 1996 quarters were minted for circulation, so yes, they're common in that sense. But when it comes to coins, common doesn't mean worthless. What truly matters is how well the coin has been preserved. Most coins from this year have been through cash registers, vending machines, and years of wear and tear. But if you come across a 1996 quarter that looks untouched, still gleaming with original luster, no scratches, no fingerprints, then you may have what collectors call a mint state coin. A 1996 quarter graded MS67 or higher by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC can be extremely rare. Even more so if it has sharp details and perfect strike quality. But here's where things get especially exciting: the minting errors. Let's explore the kinds of errors that transform a 1996 Washington quarter into a collector's dream. 1. Double die obverse, DDO. This error happens when the coin die strikes the same image twice, slightly offset. You'll notice a doubling of letters or numbers, particularly in Liberty, In God We Trust, or even the date. These coins stand out even to the naked eye, and when certified, they can bring in big bucks. 2. Off-center strike. This is when the design is misaligned due to improper feeding of the blank into the press. It leaves part of the coin blank and shifts the artwork to one side. The more off-center the strike, while still showing the date, the more valuable the coin becomes. 3. Wrong planchet error. This ultra-rare mistake occurs when a quarter's design is accidentally struck on the wrong metal blank. Imagine a 1996 quarter stamped on a dime planchet or even a foreign coin. That's a once-in-a-lifetime find, and collectors go wild for these. 4. Clipped planchet. Here, part of the coin appears cut or shaved off, caused by a mechanical fault during the blank cutting process. These look like they've had a bite taken out of them, and they're very collectible when authentic. 5. Struck through error. This happens when debris or foreign material blocks the die during striking, leaving odd impressions or missing features on the coin. These coins are 100% unique, no two are ever exactly alike. 6. Broad strike error. When a coin is struck without the collar holding it in place, the metal spreads out, flattening the design and giving the coin an unusually wide shape. These types, especially when combined with other errors, can command impressive prices. The truth is, error coins fascinate collectors because they are unpredictable, visually interesting, and incredibly rare. While the US Mint aims for perfection, mistakes do slip through, and when they do, value goes way beyond face value. But even if your 1996 quarter doesn't have a visible error, you could still be holding something valuable if it's in near-perfect condition. Coins that have been kept in airtight cases or preserved straight from a mint roll can fetch hundreds, even thousands, depending on the grade. So what should you be looking for in your 1996 Washington quarter? Check for doubling in the letters or numbers, examine the edges. Any unusual clipping, look at the alignment of the design. Is it perfectly centered? Use a magnifying glass to find subtle details and inconsistencies, and don't forget to look at the mint mark. In 1996, quarters were produced in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S, for proof sets. The rarest errors often appear on circulation coins from Denver, and if you think you found something special, don't guess, get it professionally graded. It's the only way to confirm authenticity and unlock the full value of your coin. Reputable grading services will assign a grade and encapsulate your coin, protecting it for the long term. Now, here comes the part you've been waiting for, the incredible price that turned a basic quarter into a collector's jackpot. A 1996 Washington quarter, struck with a rare mint error and preserved in pristine mint state condition, was certified and auctioned to a private collector. The final hammer price, a staggering $92,000, yes, you heard that right, $92,000 for a coin most people wouldn't even notice. That's the magic of numismatics. That's the reward for curiosity, attention to detail, and a little bit of luck. So go ahead, check your change jars, revisit your coin albums, and pay closer attention the next time you get a quarter in your hand. Because the next legendary discovery might just be hiding in plain sight. Top 5. We're talking about the 1998 Washington quarter, a coin that seems ordinary to most people, but for those who truly understand the world of numismatics, it can be a goldmine. Because believe it or not, there's a version of this humble 25-cent coin that sold for a jaw-dropping $95,000. Yes, you heard that right. So stay with me. Turn up the volume. And listen closely, because this episode might just change the way you look at every quarter you come across. Let's begin with a little background. The Washington quarter, first released in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday, is one of the most enduring and beloved coins in American history. The obverse features Washington's bust, designed by John Flanagan, and it remained virtually unchanged for decades. By 1998, this classic design was nearing the end of an era. Just 1 year later, in 1999, the U.S. Mint would launch the revolutionary 50-state quarters program, completely changing the look and appeal of quarters across the country. That makes the 1998 Washington quarter especially significant. It was the last of its kind before the design overhaul began, a final chapter of the traditional eagle on the reverse design. But more than its historical placement, the 1998 quarter holds hidden value due to rare errors, unique variants, and exceptional mint condition coins. Let's break it all down. Even though the 1998 quarter was produced in large numbers, value in the coin world is never just about how many were made. It's about how rare the condition is, and whether any errors or unusual features make your coin stand out from the millions. Let's start with condition. If your 1998 quarter is in what collectors call mint state, meaning it has never been used, shows no signs of wear, and still shines like the day it was struck, then you've already got something special. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, and most coins from this year that have been circulated are well below mint state. But a quarter in MS67 or higher condition is rare, and one in MS69 or MS70 is virtually unheard of. But what really makes collectors sit up and take notice are the mint errors. Let's explore the most valuable types of errors found on 1998 Washington quarters. 1. Double die obverse, DDO. This occurs when the coin's design is stamped twice slightly off from each other, resulting in a doubled appearance of letters or numbers. If you notice doubling on Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date, 1998, then you may be holding a DDO variety, especially valuable if it's strong and clearly visible. Point 2. Off-center strikes. This happens when the coin blank is misaligned during minting, resulting in a partial design. The more off-center the strike, while still showing the full date, the more collectible it becomes. Some off-center 1998 quarters have sold for thousands. Point 3. Clipped planchet. When the metal blank is improperly cut, a portion of the coin is missing. It looks like a bite has been taken out of the edge. This dramatic error is highly desirable when combined with a visible date and mint mark. Point 4. Broad strike error. This error happens when the retaining collar isn't present during striking, causing the coin to spread wider than normal with distorted edges. Broad-struck quarters from 1998 are rare and sought after, especially in high grades. Point 5. Wrong planchet error. One of the rarest possibilities is a 1998 quarter struck on the wrong type of planchet, like a dime, penny, or even a foreign coin blank. These errors are spectacular and can fetch tens of thousands at auction. Point 6. Struck through grease. This error occurs when grease or other debris clogs the die, causing parts of the design to be missing or faded. While subtle, dramatic examples are very collectible and can multiply a coin's value, and remember, errors aren't always easy to spot. Some may require a magnifying glass or digital microscope. Others may jump out immediately. Either way, error coins are unique by nature, which means no two are exactly alike, and that uniqueness is what collectors crave. Now, let's talk about mint marks. In 1998, quarters were produced at 3 U.S. mint locations: Philadelphia, No mint mark; Denver, D mint mark; San Francisco, S mint mark. The San Francisco quarters were only made for proof sets and were never meant for circulation. If you find an S mint mark on a shiny, mirror-like 1998 quarter, you likely have a proof coin, which already makes it more desirable. But if that coin also has an error, or is in flawless proof condition, it can be worth a small fortune. Here's the key takeaway: condition and uniqueness are everything. A circulated 1998 quarter may only be worth its face value. But a certified mint state coin with a recognized error, especially one graded by PCGS or NGC, can command huge money. That's what happened in one of the most remarkable coin sales in recent history. Now, let's get to the moment you've been waiting for. One particular 1998 Washington quarter, featuring a stunning mint error and preserved in exceptional condition, was authenticated, certified, and auctioned to an elite private collector. That coin sold for an astounding $95,000. Yes, $95,000. For a 25-cent coin that most people would overlook. This is why we say, check your coins. Examine every quarter. Look for mint marks, doubling, off-center strikes, anything out of the ordinary. What seems like a common coin might just be one of the rarest pieces in circulation. So go ahead, dig through your change, your coin jars, your drawers. The next great discovery could be just one coin away. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to Coins Hunter USA, and tap the bell icon so you're the first to know when we drop more rare coin stories, auction shockers, and expert tips on spotting hidden treasures in your spare change. Thank you for watching. Keep searching. Keep collecting. And as always, happy hunting.